26.
We're rolling, dude. We are currently live. This is really exciting.
I'm excited.
I have goosebumps right now because joined in the lodge studio today, all the way from Long Island.
Strong Island, baby.
Fucking Long Island, baby.
Long Island.
Mr. Mac Ayres, folks.
Applause. I'll give it a round of applause.
Goodness, baby boy. Thank you for joining us,
Thank you guys for having
dude.
me.
How you feeling?
Feeling great.
You look incredible.
Yeah.
You do too, bro.
And you know what? You look great in a baseball uniform as well. We found your high school baseball picture. I'm not sure if you can just pop it on over to the old computer there. So this is great. I looked up Mac Ayres to try and find some embarrassing pictures of you. And there's apparently a college baseball player, pitcher for the whoever, Cardinals.
I think maybe
Are the
Ball State.
Ball State.
Pretty sure Ball State.
Aren't the Cardinals a professional team, though, too?
There are the St. Louis Cardinals, but I don't
I
think.
doubt it's. Yeah, that stadium didn't look big enough.
I'm giving him. Hey, shit. I love his name. I'm rooting for him.
I hope that we're gonna call him Mac Ayres V2.
Okay.
I bet his full name is Mackenzie. Yours is McLean.
I think it's when I reached out to him. I actually pressed him about it. I think it's McGuire.
Ooh.
Yes.
McGuire. What a
M-A-C.
strong name.
G-U, maybe W.
Anything
I-R-E.
with Mac is going to be a strong name because it's just...
Mac is much stronger. Yeah.
Yeah, God, look at
McGuire.
those buys, dude. Look at those buys. I can tell you worked out today on those adjustable dumbbells.
Shit, you know.
How did it feel?
A little bit.
Did you pop a
Felt
sweat?
good. I mean, got a little sweat. Got to stare at the view
Yeah.
off the
Nice,
mountain.
right?
Oh my
Yeah.
God, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
I wonder why Mac Ayres V2 doesn't go by Guire, because that's also a strong name.
Guire?
Guire.
Guire?
Well, if I'm the V2, I could just
You're not V2.
switch it to Lane.
No.
Lane?
You are
Lane Ayres
Stay in
here.
my lane.
You are Mac Ayres the first. Although we have been contemplating getting matching tattoos for Spokane McLean,
Yes.
because your
McLean is in Spokane right now. So
Your
I think
God-given-
it would only be fitting.
God-given name is Spokane McLean. Look at you. Look at how old are you? 14 in this photo?
What, that one? No, that's I think that's 2019 in Asia.
I'm so happy that you're wearing shorts.
Oh yeah, short.
Wow.
For sure, dude.
Letting those legs fly out in the Philippines.
I don't have. I've only had the balls to wear shorts on stage like one time.
Oh
Really?
my
Why?
God.
Because you have such twinkle toes?
No, just because I don't know. It doesn't.
You're insecure about your little dusty triloid legs? Little white kneecaps.
I keep all the calves out.
Talk to me about the this picture, because this is an album cover
Yeah, that
of you,
was.
Mac. This is such a great album cover.
Yeah, that was. I was out in the desert, and we saw that hill. Hit a little pose.
Yeah, a little-
And what I love about it is that it was so quick. You were like, "Hey, get me real quick."
Yeah.
No, you weren't like,
Snapped
"This is gonna be the album picture," because you didn't even put the guitar on fully. It's like a half sling. Right
Well, I was
here.
climbing a rock. I mean, I wasn't. I'm not thinking about putting on the strap, right?
Now let's talk about this. Who is this man?
That's me singing in the Berklee cafeteria.
Shut up.
That's me.
Must see TV right
That's
there.
me.
Is that also you?
That's also me. That's in my room, my Boston apartment, where I made Drive Slow.
Oh my God, dude! You
Wow.
are such a baby in that photo, Mac.
Yeah.
For everybody listening at home, if you don't know Mac Ayres music, then go and check it out as soon as you possibly can, because it's incredible. I can't wait
Thanks, bud.
to have you on Live at the Lodge, dude.
I can't wait to be.
The house band boys have been calling me nonstop. We got one of them in the cockpit today because old Stevie Baby hurt his eye sleeping.
We're sending love, Steve.
Tristan is in the cockpit today. Put the camera on yourself, you handsome little baby.
Guitar.
Wave it up. What up? What
Yes,
up? Tristan specifically has been calling me pretty much 3 to 4 times a day.
Every day.
Just, when is Mac getting here? Also, does Mac like this shirt? Can you ask him if I should wear this shirt on the show?
Sure.
All the shirts he was wearing throughout the course of the 3 weeks leading up to this event, I was like, bro, any shirt's gonna be fine. Just bring a shirt. He's like, but what about this shirt? I found, and yeah, I'm obviously lying to that, but I can't wait to do some writing and some
Yeah, man.
some music creation. We made a little beat today. We made a
little half a beat.
What are we calling that beat? Your dad's house.
Your dad's house, I believe.
We're gonna finish. We're gonna finish working on that beat, and by the end of the week, we're gonna have an entire album.
Absolutely.
We're gonna call it Mac and Owls.
Mac and Owls.
Mac and Owls.
Mackie Stone.
Mac Stones.
Mackie Stones.
So talk a little bit. You're from Long Island, Mac.
Yes.
And you are the son of 4 lawyers. You were talking about.
Yes.
So your parents divorced when you were 2.
Yep.
And but married other lawyers.
Yes.
So you got a quad lawyer situation, and you became a musician.
Yep. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You hit the nail on the head.
A lot of my friends whose parent, like seemingly the age-old tale is like, well, my dad's a lawyer, my mom's a teacher.
Yeah.
And so I did the music thing.
Yep. No, straight law in my house.
Quad law.
Yep.
How did you get into music?
I think I've been singing forever, like on some elementary school choir type stuff. I think my music teacher actually called my parents at one point and said like, "Yo, your kid is singing loud. He might be into this. You might want to look into that."
It's so cool that your teacher actually did that.
Yeah.
What did she say? You were singing loud, or was it like you were actually good?
Well, I think his words are probably that I was good, but I'm sure as a second grader, you just sing loud. If you're trying to sing, I guess. But
that early, did you know that you could sing?
Probably not like in the very beginning. Like I'd say when I was around like 8 or 9, I knew I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
But I don't think I knew like, oh, I'm this great singer.
Right.
But excuse me. Yeah, I think I was just singing a lot. Growing up, I always gravitated towards music. I always had a fascination with the piano and other instruments. My mom bought me a keyboard when I was 11, and I tell people all the time I've just pretty much spent the next 13 years just sitting at it trying to figure it out.
And
now
so you started, your entrance was piano because you're an incredible guitar player.
Thank you.
But piano was first.
Yep.
God, I wish I had that asset. Like I feel like piano's the instrument, especially keyboards now with like digital music production.
Oh yeah.
If you can do the keys, you're set. You don't need anybody else in the studio.
Right. Yeah.
Except somebody to do a feature on your song and just
in the studio.
really,
right?
Very, very few other hands I like to have around, if any at all. It's usually just me.
And at times he just puts one behind his back to see if he can do it.
Yeah.
He's like, I need less hands in here.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man.
Just go lefty, make a lefty beat.
Yeah, I was so blown away by how quickly you made what you made today in my studio. It was pretty incredible. I was like, what? How were you able to do that so fast? It would have taken me days to do what you did.
Yeah. Thank you. But I just like making beats.
So why R&B then? Was that like in your circle? Were you into hip hop first?
I think growing up, like I think to a certain extent we all listened to like what our parents were listening to, like up until a certain age. But then once I really started to develop the music I like really still enjoy, it was a lot of hip hop. It was maybe around like 6th or 7th grade I got into hip hop, and I think as far as R&B goes, it was just like the artists that I grew up that wound up being the most compelling to me just like happened to be Stevie and Michael and Marvin and Whitney and just all sort of that space.
Yeah.
So I think that your music is a product of what you listen to. So I think that I sort of just floated into the R&B world, so to speak.
Yeah, that's so cool. Did you ever go through like a phase of any other style?
Oh yeah.
What were those phases?
Well, I told you I picked up keys at 11, and then I started playing guitar at 16 because I was just trying to be John Mayer, like all the
Oh, yeah, everybody had that phase.
Yeah, of
You
course.
had a Gavin DeGraw.
I think I'm going to go, I had a Gavin DeGraw phase too. Yeah, big time.
Classic.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go back to the John Mayer phase.
You should.
It's a fire phase to me. I mean, I am thankful for it all the time. It taught me a lot of songwriting lessons that obviously got me picking up the guitar. But yeah, I think I thought that I would be a little more on like the acoustic singer-songwriter sort of avenue.
Yeah. Like an Amos Lee kind of like folky soul sort of.
Exactly.
Yeah, cool. And then you just migrated out of that.
Yeah, I just once I started to like understand concepts of R&B music, it just helped me to get a grasp on it and be able to incorporate it into my own writing, and then shit got more R&B sounding.
Yeah. I mean, it's very R&B. Your music does not. There's some songs that I've put out that are so close to. Like I attempt to pride myself in being an R&B singer and musician, but there's definitely songs that I've put out that are like, I don't think you're getting away with it there, kid.
Yeah.
There's no questioning your roots and inspiration in your music. It's like very, very much so. What's the word I'm looking for? It's authentic R&B, in my opinion. There's no like, I think he's like maybe trying a little bit too hard here.
Yeah, I mean, so I think everybody feels like that sometimes, but
always,
you know, those are my tunes, as genuine as I can make them. So.
You're continuing to kill it, man. So you just released a record called 8 Ball.
Yes, Magic 8 Ball.
Magic 8 Ball, and this is this a quarantine record? Like you made it during quarantine, or it was?
Yeah. I think it's the absolute definition of a quarantine record. I started, I wrote the first tune 2 weeks into COVID. It happened to be Sunny in 62, which was the first track on there. But that was the first one that I wrote, and the last one was in December.
Yeah. And where did you write most of that record? Because I think you told me you were over in Long Island for a minute.
That's where the majority of it was written, in my mom's basement in Long Island. But I did think at least one, probably two of them in LA before I left.
Yeah, rad.
Yeah.
And so currently you reside in LA,
yes.
but we've been hearing little birds chirping that maybe you're making it over to old Julian's side of the globe.
Yes, Come on
sir.
down.
About to pull up on Julian real quick.
Let's go be roommates, dude.
Yeah.
Get a spot at Williamsburg. Are you guys gonna
bunk beds, dude.
make a
I'm down.
make
More
a
room for
tennis?
activities. We'll see. We'll have to.
Rochambeau.
All right, fine. 2 out of 3.
Fuck. I never went on those.
But yeah.
Why are you cruising back? You just always want to live in New York, or?
Yeah, always. I mean, growing up on Long Island is definitely not the same experience as like living in the thick of it, living in the city.
Right.
I've always, as a New Yorker, I think I've wanted to, go and attribute to the New York scene a little bit. And also, I mean, among other things, I miss my mom and I miss pizza, and bagels and shit. Mm-hmm. So I'm just happy to be in a little more familiar territory.
Do you have a slice spot in New York? Is there like a spot?
I got a couple. I mean, if you're in like Manhattan, it's a pretty basic pick, but there's a joint called Joe's that just makes a very good plain slice. Like just sauce is good, cheese is good, crust is good.
Do you just like a plain cheese? Is that your groove?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, I like mushrooms on it. I like meatball on it sometimes.
Different places make different types, different styles.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotta real feel it out.
Yeah, you gotta have like certain places for specific things. I mean, New York pizza is getting very specific. You gotta have your Sicilian joint. You gotta have your regular slice joint. And
what is Sicilian? Just like thicker slices? Yeah, it's like deeper crust.
A puffy ass.
I honestly don't even know.
I don't know how they make it, but it's just a puffy joint.
Puffy doughs?
Yes.
Where's yours at, Jules?
I don't have pizza. I don't like pizza.
Oh my God, I'm so over you.
I don't know. There's some good pizza.
Wait, did you say you don't like it?
I don't care for it. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't.
Mac, don't listen to this trash.
I'm honestly offended.
There was a place.
Are you a New Yorker too? Like you're?
No, I'm from Seattle, dude, and I eat chicken Caesar wraps all day long. And that's it. I'm a loser.
Sick.
You're sick?
I'm just sick that you don't appreciate New York pizza.
Look, dude, I appreciate New York pizza. I just don't. All right, man. I drink cold brews and I eat wraps, and this is very simple. I just
feel
like
you.
Pizzas. They're good when they're good, but I just don't go out of my way to get them.
They are good.
I also spent the first 3 years eating two bros, which is like the 99-cent pizza slice. It's awful because I just didn't have any money, so I was like, oh yeah, 2 bros every day, like 3 pieces is what I can get. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Can't say it's not a good deal.
It's a great deal, but dude, it's
Bucket Slice is a great deal.
It's just awful pizza, and it's like it doesn't represent New York pizza that way.
Did
so
that taint
you out.
your pizza?
No, I never really.
Perspective?
No, remember Godfather's Pizza out here? Remember that?
Yeah, totally.
I hated that pizza. It used to give me
Why'd
headaches.
you bring it up?
It used to give me. Because I'm just telling you. Said is that what tainted your
Godfather's
pizza?
pizza.
Godfather's Pizza used
Like
to
they
give me.
just
It
picked
used
some
to give me
Italian
headaches.
shit and named it after a pizza joint.
I guess, yeah.
Godfather's Pizza.
Yeah, it used to just like I remember it coming to my door as a delivery thing, and olives. That was I told you last night. I hate olives. I could tell it was at the door. I could smell the olives. Get a headache.
Nobody can
Hated
smell
it.
olives. What a ridiculous thing to
I
say.
can.
Are you kidding me?
I can smell olives. Baked olives.
That's.
Yeah, the olives that come on pizza though are like,
Baked.
Oh yeah, on a pizza, I guess they are
Yeah.
baked.
they're not
Still
great.
don't think that they stink like anything.
I'm telling you, dude.
I fuck with an olive. I'm with you, Al.
Get out.
I don't particularly like olives on pizza, but I like like a good green olive, as like a
More of a black olive man, honestly.
really.
Yeah.
I don't like the black olives.
I hate you guys.
That's
both.
not my thing.
That's
I can't believe that this is you, player. That
That's crazy.
that kid has more hair than I currently do now.
It looks
but
like a
that is
member
me.
of One Direction.
I know.
Yeah.
Is that where you were anticipating to go? It's interesting. Because you went to Berklee. And
Yes.
I'm interested in that because we were
Yeah, I wanna
talking a
talk
little bit
about
about
that
that earlier today at lunch. And was that just kind of to be expected leaving high school because you were already playing music and you were like, this
Yeah.
is my trajectory, I'm going to go?
I mean, I had only applied to music schools, and I think definitely part of that, I had no other interests. And, coming from where I grew up, everybody goes to college. So, I didn't think that there was, that I wasn't going to go. I just grew up always assuming I would. And I wound up picking Berklee just because I thought, that it was, a cool place to go study music, which is what I knew I wanted to do music. That's sort of how I stumbled across it.
So you went to Berklee, and talk about that experience a little bit. Your major, or at least your primary instrument, was voice, right?
My principal instrument was I was there on voice.
Yeah, and so that would have been, what year did you graduate? 2000.
I didn't graduate, but high school.
High school,
I
yeah.
graduated high school 2014.
Okay, so you auditioned 2014
Yeah,
at Berklee. God, that's crazy.
yeah. It was probably more like 2013 because you got to do it a little early.
Right.
The audition.
What was your talk about that experience, because I think there's a lot of people who pay attention to this show and the universe of Live at the Lodge that are aspiring musicians who would go, man, maybe should I go do like a music school? Do I need to be in a music town? Some people seem to not do it and it seems fine, and then Charlie Puth did it and he's kicking ass. So
What did he do?
he went to Berklee.
He's a Berklee boy.
Okay, cool.
Did he graduated, right?
I'm not positive.
But Trevor, who plays guitar in my band, graduated from Berklee. And I mean, I'm just curious your perspective on the experience. No, just the experience altogether with going to Berklee and studying art.
Like all things, there was good and bad shit about it. I think that
What was the good shit?
the good shit, I mean, I met so many people that are still, peers of mine in the industry that wound up, going on to do great things. And I've met many people in my band, my girlfriend I met at Berklee. I have relationships that'll last a lifetime from there.
Yeah.
And I think that is something that I'll never knock Berklee for. It definitely is something to be said about getting so many talented people that are all on the come up, all developing their skills, all, on 2 blocks.
Yep.
You've just, some cool shit's gonna happen. But I mean, I think that the thing that I didn't like about it was that it turned art into a very formulaic mindset.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, and for me, for a period of time, I think that I fell into that. Excuse me. I think overall, everybody, I feel like, especially in a Berklee context, everybody is like that dude musically from their hometown, right? You're probably the best from wherever you're from, but then you go to Berklee and you're not shit. Like nobody, nobody knows who you are. So I just took it because, like, I mean, a lot of it is like ratings and like calf shows and like shows in the cafeteria. That
I was like, what's a calf show? You gotta show up your calves?
No, the cafeteria over there. That's where I'm singing in that photo. Actually, I'm singing on the cafeteria stage at like some open mic thing.
Do we have video from you doing?
I'm not sure if there's
cafeteria
a video
show.
Was that because it could probably go both ways for you. You know, I think a lot of people leave their small towns to go. I mean, you grew up in New York, so it wasn't really that small. But you leave because you're kind of the big fish type of thing, and then you go to a college that's filled with these kids who are aspiring to do the same thing. They also got in. They're also really good. You're surrounded by exceptional talent. Mm-hmm. You could either be like, this is great, I'm around like-minded people, or you can kind of like shell up and say, like, this sucks because now I'm no longer great. Did you struggle with that, or did you appreciate it?
I mean, I know a lot of people did at Berklee. Like that's some shit everybody has to go through. Just like being there and like sort of realizing that it's not that like you're not shit anymore, so to speak. But I think that I knew that if I put the work in, that I would be. I think that I've always had confidence in myself and my musical ability, and I have always had sort of a competitive thing going on, and I think we talked about that briefly last night. But I wanted it really bad, and I wanted to get better, and I wanted my classmates to know that I was the guy.
But you got to a point where you realized that idea of turning art into a formula was kind of getting the best of you, and you were becoming aware of that, and it was kind of making you resentful about the experience.
Absolutely, yeah. As a songwriting major over there, I mean, you're just taking songwriting classes, so it's like songwriting is really the thing that I love to do. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm in this profession. But that they were just turning that shit into every decision you make has to be based on rhyme scheme and song form and just like shit that puts people's minds into fucking a box, so to speak.
Did you feel like you saw a lot of kids go in that direction with the school, kind of drink the Kool-Aid?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, most people.
I'd say
do.
More people than not.
And was it beneficial if you were looking to like pull away far enough?
Like in the direction Berklee wanted you to go in?
Yeah, if you decided to buy in and go down that pathway.
I think there was a percentage of people that benefited from that, but I think probably not most.
Yeah, some artists really do benefit from like a structure thing. This is A plus B will equal C if you just A plus B enough.
Right.
But it also can be incredibly debilitating for like free form flow state art.
Yep. I've never been a man of structure, so to speak.
Yeah.
So even like as a kid, like middle school and high school, I was never a good student, never enjoyed school, never enjoyed anything about it. So yeah, once I knew it was time to go, I just went all in for it.
And so when was that moment? So you said about 5 semesters?
Yeah.
What was that point? What was that moment that you're just like, this is not for me. Why am I wasting my time?
You'll enjoy this story. It's actually it was definitely one moment I remember. I took a class in what became my last semester of Berklee. It was called groove writing, and basically you learn how to notate drum shit on staff paper, right? Where does the snare go? Where does the hi-hat go? That sort of stuff. And I walked into class a little bit late, sat down, and the teacher asked the class, does anyone know what a hi-hat sounds like? And nobody raised their hand. And I was just sort of looking around like, what? This is this illustrious music school? Nobody knows what the fuck a hi-hat sounds like. And then I walked out of that room, and I never returned to the Berklee College of Music.
Really? Well,
yes.
I mean, in retrospect, like, you also didn't raise your hand to say what it was. So, like, some other kids might have just been like, I mean, it's
somebody
not to
else
say that they didn't know what it was. I'm sure a lot of kids were just like,
right.
Yeah,
I mean,
we know.
They,
it's like,
it could have been a tired day in class, but it sounds epic in my mind that I was like, fuck this, I'm out of here.
Yeah, that's funny, man.
Yeah, I think at that point,
it sounds like it was coming from something behind it. That was like the stick
there was
that
some
broke the camel's
build
back.
Yeah, that was the one that broke the camel's back. Absolutely.
How are you supposed to answer that question, though?
Yeah.
but is that the thing that he wanted, or did he want you to explain?
He probably just wanted to, like, articulate like the audible, I don't know, whatever.
Who knows what a hi-hat sounds like?
I mean, I'm not even sure if I was offended by, like, the specific question or, like, the fact that, like, that was even something that, like, had to be discussed. I think I was just, you know, there was definitely build up to that point. So I was just like, nah.
Yeah.
Fuck this.
And so going through, like, it seemed like you had reached a boiling point, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I've done 2 years of this school. Because I've heard of quite a few experiences of people going to, I mean, specifically Berklee.
Yeah.
And kind of getting into the 2-year mark and going, I'm out. I'm not doing this.
Yep.
And I would imagine their experiences aren't that different.
No, I bet we have a lot to talk about. Anybody that goes through that.
Like, in retrospect, is there anything you wish you would have done different with that experience? And what did you pull from it? Because we were talking earlier. Sorry, what about it did you really? No, we already answered that question with, like, the friends. I was thinking about this recently with college, because I didn't go to college, and I've been around people who have.
Yeah.
And it seems like the benefit of college is just putting you around a group of people who are qualified enough to get into college.
Yep.
Which is not a bad thing.
No, I mean, it's the best thing I got out of my college.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm forever grateful for that aspect of it, and, like, it makes me feel like, you know, I'm not pissed that I went to music college. I'm not mad at my experience there. You know, a lot of the shitty things that happened to me there definitely, like, sort of sculpted my mindset a little bit to succeed ultimately, I think.
Yeah.
What would you have been doing if you didn't go? Can't really answer because it didn't happen, but, like,
playing D3 baseball somewhere. Doing
really?
something else. Yeah. If I hadn't decided to go to music school, I don't know. I don't think many places would have taken me if I was.
When did you know? When you, like, what age were you? When you, because for me personally, I didn't really know that being a musician was a career until I was, like, at least 14, 15, 16. Did you know earlier that, like, what age was that? What was that experience?
I'd say I was 9.
9.
Probably. I was a big American Idol fan growing up.
Oh, okay.
And so I would just watch that shit and be like, oh my God, these people are, like, singing to real people. Like,
yeah.
It was always something I strived to achieve. I wrote in my 5th grade yearbook I wanted to be the next American Idol. Yeah. And
that was your senior quote?
My senior year of elementary school quote. Yeah. But that's I always knew that I'd be doing something sort of like what I'm doing.
What era of American Idol judge would you have wished to have auditioned for?
Oh, the OGs.
The OGs.
Randy, Paul, Simon. Please. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, there's no other.
Yeah, me too. I don't even know.
When I see Lionel Richie up there, I'm like, what
are you
the
doing?
hell?
Yeah, was Paula hammered?
Every episode.
Right? She's just she's blitzed, right?
Full extendo fingers clapping. That Coke cup was filled to the brim.
But you didn't audition, did you?
No, I auditioned for the X Factor once as like a 12-year-old.
So there was that you did have the intention of maybe taking that route. Like, let's see what this is. Like, you're obviously 12, so it's just like, let's see what happens. Like, I mean, if something happens, great.
I thought it was a real thing. I thought I was going to go there and win the shit, honestly.
Yeah. I mean,
and what do you think of
it?
I bet it is.
Why do you think you're the American Idol, huh?
I just have it.
What do you think of those? What do you think of those game shows now? Being involved in the music industry and probably knowing a bunch of dropouts from, like, top 16 American Idol.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think, you know, for the most part, I don't like most of the things about it. And I think that the fact that, like, the winner of American Idol has to, like, go into this wild fucking contract, and that, you know, that was something I realized, and then that sort of made me not want to be the next American Idol anymore. But yeah, all that stuff, I mean, you know, I don't know. It's not to say that it shouldn't be there for other people to enjoy, but it just feels corny to me. It just feels like it's all storylines and like sob stories, and that's why we're paying attention to people. But
it's interesting. I mean, it's interesting enough
absolutely.
to like inspire you to be a musician.
Absolutely. And as a kid, I mean, it's fucking awesome. Like, before you get into like the cynical dissecting of you know, how television shows operate, I was enamored by that shit. That is what made me ultimately pick the career path that I'm doing now. So
that's wild, man. I wish that there was a way you could, like, you know how if you pay a specific amount of money with TV providers, you don't have to watch the commercials.
Yeah.
I wish there was like a life button that you could like push to where you just you never saw behind the veil of how shit actually works.
Right.
Like the ignorance, you know, button that you can just be like, I want my experience to just be full of ignorance and everything.
Keep it sugary.
Keep it sugary. I want everybody to blow rainbows up my asshole.
Who's pushing that button?
I would push it.
No, you wouldn't.
Every like 4 weeks, I'd push it, like just for.
No, you can push it once. Okay, maybe your parents can push it for you.
Nice.
You can't push it for yourself, but
you're acting like you're like, I don't want Rudy to have to become a singer and follow my footsteps. I'm pushing the button for him.
Well, no, if I didn't push the button, then if I pushed the button, probably he would just be like, oh yeah, I'm going to straight American Idol, baby.
Season 83.
It's interesting because I've always had a real negative perspective of those shows.
Yeah.
Simply because it never felt to me like the shows were for the contestants. It felt like it was for the judges.
Oh, absolutely.
It was like, oh, well, let's get these artists on here whose, you know, careers are in whatever state they're in.
Yeah.
And let's put them on TV and give them all the shine and the time. Which is fine, whatever. It's TV, right? Like I don't know what it takes to get ratings
for, you know, some people to like.
And so I always had this like I remember I've had so many people come up to me like at shows with like hundreds of people. You know, like it was early on in my career, but there was like close to 1,000 people at this show.
And they said, like, why aren't you on American Idol?
Yeah, there were people that come to me in the line and be like, hi, man. Well, I don't know why they're from the South. Hi. You should try out for American Idol. And
in what like, world would you have been like, holy shit?
You're right.
How did I not think of that?
Yeah.
300 people in this room. How the fuck didn't I think of that?
Yeah, well, it just kind of blew my mind. I was like, why do I need to do that? Like, I'm doing the career thing. Like, I have a career.
Right.
And so I always was just kind of like turned my nose up at it.
Yeah.
I even had because they vet everybody that tries out. Like,
what do you mean?
Like they ask them to try out.
Yeah,
for The Voice and for American Idol. They like have scouts. They have teams of scouts.
That's why I did X Factor.
Right, they probably scouted you. So I remember, I don't know how the hell they got my number, but a scout from The Voice called me. And this was really early. Like I was broke AF, sleeping on couches, eating pizza like that was not my pizza. And they called me and I was just like, I'm way too good for this. Which at the time, I absolutely was not too good for that. But I got asked to go, like, be a mentor on American Idol recently. Wow. And, of course, I was like, well, duh, I'm going to do that. Like, so many people watch the show. And kind of seeing the experience for the contestants, I was like, this is not bad. This is not a bad thing. They're entertaining millions of people.
Right.
They're bringing music into the home when it's completely gone.
Oh yeah.
Right. Like there's no more music videos on the TV. There's no more just music entertainment.
That is
period
anymore. I don't know my exposure to music coming from a family of lawyers, if not.
Yeah.
For like
what would it
this
have been?
Big television program.
Yeah. We don't have any music television anymore besides like these game shows.
Yeah.
And Katy Perry is Babe Town, dude. Let me tell you. Yikes, baby. Katy. Yeah.
Want to be on our podcast? Katie?
Katie?
Yeah.
Katie?
Reach out, Katie.
Katie? Hey, Tris, could you get old Katie Pierre on the the ticker for us, baby?
Hey, do you think I could go pee real quick?
Yeah, maybe go. Do the thing. Do you know where the bathroom's at?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Down the hall.
We'll press a little
Right.
pause.
beer, though.
Folks at home, no, we're not gonna press pause. We're just gonna talk about you.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about you
All
behind
right,
your
well,
back.
I mean,
on a podcast.
Don't say anything
It's public.
out of pocket.
Oh, it's gonna be deep
gonna
in the
say
pocket,
be
bro.
nice.
It's gonna be
We're gonna say
super
some-
pocket depth.
You gonna smoke another J? We were talking about smoking on this podcast because you like to smoke so much. Alan
Yeah.
got you 9 pounds of marijuana for your entrance to coming over here.
It's Al's a good host.
That's
are a
my.
good host.
I love hosting.
I know.
I love hosting. Have I been a good host to you, Jules? You've been staying. Really?
Yeah, dude, it's been great. You're
Awesome.
super good. You're great.
Tristan, you want to come have a sleep seat?
The only shitty part about
Can I come live with you?
Yeah, come on, baby.
I don't feel like you're really hosting me anymore. You are, but you're also like
I still make you crumbs.
yeah, but you make crumbs. You make crumbs.
Did you smoke a little?
No, I kind of want to though. You make crumbs and you use so many goddamn dishes to make your crumbs, and then you know that JP Grimace is gonna clean the dishes at the end of the Mod Berklee call.
And we are
talking about
back,
before
dude.
some
How was
segue
that?
back.
How was
You're gonna
that?
say nice things about me while I was taking a pee?
We just talk shit about each other.
Dude, we were like, how handsome is Matt Ayres?
I don't know.
Killing it,
How
dude.
handsome
dude.
is he?
Oh, was that your sex audition?
Yeah, you know me.
Dude,
You know me with
110.
the faces on stage.
Come on, Mike. Come on, Mike. Yeah, we we were talking about my hosting capabilities actually when you were gone.
You are an incredible host. I've only been at your house for under 24 hours, but I've already had a tuna melt. I've gone in a hot tub.
Talk about the tuna melt, please. I would
Alan
like
wants to be complimented.
I want to be complimented.
Tuna melt is gas. So much so that I said my Jewish mother would very much enjoy it. The raw onion, the jalapeno bread bun.
Bro, can we
so
ship your
delish.
mom one of my tuna melts?
She would actually love that.
Can we overnight it, like dehydrate
Absolutely.
it, and then all she has to
Yeah.
do is just put it in water and.
You,
my
yeah,
God,
put
dude,
that
that
joint
would
on ice,
reek.
ship it across. She would love it.
I get a lot of
Mama.
like butcher
Hey, Mom,
box.
Shout out. What's her name?
What's up, Mama? Mary.
Hey, Mary. Shout out.
Mary.
She's not
Beautiful
listening to
name,
this.
Mary.
We love you, Mary.
Love ya.
Mary, did you know? Okay, so back to Berklee and
Yes.
your experience there.
The Charles Barkley School of Music, I like to call
The
it.
Charles Barkley School of Music.
Yes.
First, one question: Berklee Music School is spelled Berklee.
True.
Berkeley colleges in California are spelled
Why?
EY.
True.
Absolutely no connection, right?
None at all.
Yeah, 'cause somebody the other day,
That was me.
was that you?
Yeah.
You're like, there's another like a music college in California too, right? I was like, I don't think it's a music college.
No,
Well, I'm
just a
sure they
regular
have
old-
a music like school.
Of course. Yeah, but
Yeah,
Berklee,
yeah.
Berklee, the one that you went to, is the only one of its kind.
Yeah. I think they
I
have
didn't
a
know that.
campus in like Europe too, but it's the,
Oh, cool.
it's that one.
Yeah.
What else are you into, man? Besides you're a sportsman.
Yes.
We talked about basketball for quite some time. That was
That's the
fun.
majority of what else I'm into outside of music. Just watching any basketball, really. Just primarily the Knicks. I'm a big Knicks fan.
Yeah.
Lifelong.
How they
But,
looking this year?
The best we have been in a long time, I'll tell you.
That's great.
Shout out
Yeah.
Julius Randle, All-Star, first time All-Star.
Shout out-
We love to see that.
Yeah. They've been pretty.
Tris, what'd
impressive.
you
You know
say?
what I'm talking about, Tristan. I hear you.
All-Star, it's about time.
Yes, sir. About damn time. I think we might be the 7th seed right now, which, I mean, as far as like how good we've been in the past like decade, it's pretty far.
Lucky number 7, baby.
Let's go. Let's go to some games, dude. When we're out in Newsies.
Please, bro. As soon as I
Courtside?
can, man.
Let's hang out with us.
You buy 'em?
Fuck yeah, bro. Got all this
get it.
podcast bucks, dude.
Yeah,
I'm
bro. All right, let's
crushing
see.
it now.
I'll buy this. I'll provide the chicken nuggets. You know,
Sweet.
I'll buy the food. That we
I'm
get
cool
there.
with Stan Lee. Not Stan Lee. That's the Marvel comic guy.
Is the Marvel
Spike
comic
Lee.
guy?
Spike
Lee?
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
Does Spike still go to the games?
I think no. There was an incident where he
Got too upset.
I mean, the Knicks owner is just like an absolute shithead. Like his name's James Dolan. He's just like he's a racist, horrible human being. He just happens to own.
Oh, is this the super old balls guy that like his girlfriend leaked?
No, that's the old Clippers dude, Donald Sterling.
Okay.
The commissioner banned him for life after that.
Yeah, he's an old man. He's a very old man.
Crusty, just. Not a good dude. Old
And so
Dom's
James
like-
Baldwin though too. He's
James Dolan.
James Dolan.
He owns any team that plays in the Garden is owned by James Dolan, and he's just
Wow.
Look up a Google image.
James
He's
Dolan.
ugly as hell. I'll say that on wax. Dolan.
Dude, you can get some courtside tickets with your new status, bro. You're big
I hope-
timing, dude.
What new status?
You're
I've been
big,
trying.
You're Mac Ayres, bro.
If this ugly dude's got to hit me up for me to get courtsides,
The chick you sit next to is a pretty babe.
I doubt they're
it
together.
doesn't make him prettier.
Why is his neck? Is his head connected to his body?
Yeah, he looks like the fucking slug from Monsters Inc. Mike Wazowski. That bitch.
Michael
He looks like her.
Who's he sitting next to right there? Is that
I don't know.
Gwyneth Paltrow?
Paris Hilton.
Nah.
He looks fun, man. I bet he goes skiing.
I know that he tours with his blues band, like when he's not ruining my favorite basketball team. And they're not good too. I have no nice things to say about James Dolan.
He looks
Kick his ass,
he looks
dude.
like he's curmudgeon-y,
down.
but he's sitting next
Let's
to a
pull
new hottie every time he goes to the game.
Oh, he's sitting next to some old Knicks. I see Spreewell over there and
Latrell, bro.
old Latrell. Yes, sir. Number 8.
I wish Latrell would come out with some headphones. Doesn't it seem like every
Beats by Latrell?
every ex NBA star or like musician is like coming out with headphones? Is anybody else?
Headphones,
notice that at all.
alcohol, or like tree. Like there's an old Nick that has
Like
I
his
don't know
own
if you
weed?
heard of, viola, weed. It's like purple. Al Harrington, Nick's legend.
Oh, really?
What is fire tree?
What would
Well, it's
be
a
the
terrible name,
Al, hit me up,
Viola.
fam.
It's too close
Hey,
to
Al,
Viagra.
Hit me up, dog.
Al, what I
Al
don't.
Harrington,
What's the-
send me a sample platter.
For anybody at home who wants or is curious, Mac burns. He is a burner.
Send me marijuana products.
Yeah, he's into it. We got you some good stuff. We got some of that Washington State busy.
I'm a big fan of the Washington tree whenever I come through here. So
Do you
I have
notice,
to
like-
partake?
Are you? Because you seem like a proper connoisseur of cannabis. Do you notice? So, like with wine, I don't know much about wine, but the little bits that I know because I watched Sideways twice was.
That's all the info you needed.
Is that like climate has so much to do with the grapes?
You can't say anything now because you don't have any validity.
No, listen. No. It makes sense. Like it makes sense theoretically.
Real
That
sommelier over here.
Based upon like how much, like the seasons and how much sun you would get through the specific season for the grape.
Yep.
The wine tastes differently.
Yeah.
I think it's called tannins. Anybody?
I'm just gonna let you keep going.
Thank you.
I don't know. I haven't seen Sideways even once, so I don't know.
It's a pretty good flick, dude. Who's in it? Who's the guy?
Paul Giamatti.
Paul Giamatti, baby.
of course.
Paul Giamatti. That guy
Holy.
fucks with pizza for sure. No neck.
Love that guy, dude.
He's the best.
Good
What was that movie? We watched this wrestling movie the other day. He was in.
yeah.
You remember
That was
that?
great
I watched it with my folks, dude. My mom and dad really enjoyed it. Shout out to
yeah.
mom.
Shout out to mom and dad.
That's my dad.
Okay, so do you notice as a connoisseur of cannabis that based upon where the weed is grown or whether the weed is grown indoors or outdoors or whether or not Latrell Spreewell has stanced on it?
I think probably not like as specifically as that. Like I couldn't like smoke it and be like, well, this is clearly a San Francisco indica.
Anytime you say this is clearly after anything, I'm gonna believe it.
I say it
Anytime
that
anybody does
forthright.
that, well, this is
Yeah.
clearly.
Clearly.
If I just
Clearly.
know I got that shit right.
Yeah.
I think you know, I just smoke a lot of weed, and I know that places like, you know, LA and San Francisco and here, I mean Seattle, and now McLean and Spokane. Now I know about the weed here too.
Yeah,
but
it's good, bad.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it helps you with your creativity when you smoke, or do you just?
Oh yeah,
I mean
that's
you've just been doing it for so long now.
Among other things, I think it also mellows me out and keeps me not like so in my head, like thinking about a gazillion different things at once. It helps me be a little more present. It helps me focus on the task at hand.
See, that's super interesting because it does the opposite to me at times.
And it does for a lot of people. I know that it gets people like in their head and paranoid and shit, but it's always worked for me.
Yeah.
And I definitely don't condone it to anybody that like it doesn't work for. I'm not one of those guys.
Yeah, I remember
everybody needs to fucking burn up, dog. It's just something I really.
Anybody who is like that is probably looks like if you could just switch over to the computer right now. This seems like the kind of guy who would be like, everybody needs to smoke marijuana.
Just do it 20 more times.
Bro, I just got an eighth for $60. Such a good deal.
Yeah, that's interesting, man. Because for a long time, when I first started smoking, that was kind of like that was like the era where I was doing what you do right now, which is just like make a beat a day.
Yeah.
I was just like in the lab, just making the beats. And Jewel, I had no. Well, your situation is much better because people actually pay you to make beats.
I was supporting you.
Jules'
salesman job.
Jules was working at LA Fitness, bringing home Crunchwrap Supremes for us to split.
Let's go. They're pretty big, Crunchwrap.
Yeah,
that fill you up a little bit.
Yeah, I was working steady, dude. I was truly supporting this guy.
Dude, he was my sugar daddy.
That's a ride or die.
He was my sugar daddy, and he would come home and I'd be like, bro, check out this new beat.
Dude, he would just turn around. He would turn around like, because in the room, I'd enter the room and the desk would be up against the back wall, and he would just be like, turn around, and his fucking eyes were
a
just
cloud of smoke,
red,
comes out of his hair and shit.
Totally, man. And he's just like, bro, check this out. It's just like, yeah, dude, this fucking kicks ass. And then we rap.
That's basically my life right there. That's
awesome,
good. Good synopsis.
I want to get back into that groove though, man. Like I think for me, with my music creation, I'm we were talking about this earlier, is that like I've worked with God, I don't want to like be dishonest on the show. I don't know, but like I've been with labels for the last few records, and I deeply appreciate everybody at those. Let me start off this statement by I deeply appreciate every single human who's worked on one of my projects. Their care and consideration for my music is great, and the stuff that I've put out is I'm very proud of. All those records I'm very proud of, and
Absolutely.
I'm very grateful that they turned out the way they did. But when you work with a label and you've never properly worked with a label, which is so cool to see and hear, you have to, like, in order to you sign a partnership, right? But it's not really a partnership. It's like you sign a deal to essentially put forth the power to whether or not certain things are released or not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more than just that, of course.
Absolutely.
But like, when you sign a label deal, you'll get record. Check this one out. Check this one out. Check this one out. And like, they have the last say, because they've spent the money.
Yeah.
And so, I think that has constricted my desire to like make the music. So I'm like, well, shit, like. I've got to get through all like these 9 channels in order for the people that I want to hear the music to hear it. Right. So like, maybe I'll just go make a video instead, or maybe I'll go and make a show instead, or do a podcast. You know, and I'm out of my label deal now currently, and I'm interested to see, because I mean, once we start the talks on that like next LP thing. There'll definitely be like label people chirping,
of course,
and
always.
And say that again. When you're out of your next what?
I'm out of my deal, my label deal. So like
I'm cooking the next EP.
When I when I assemble like what is
give me some of that.
All 12 songs that me and Mac are gonna write this weekend.
good one.
There's gonna be
30.
1,200.
There's gonna be like a label discussion, and I'm curious what route I'll take. But there's definitely a perspective of like somebody like you, Mac, who you're like, yeah, I just wake up every day, I make a beat. Let's make a beat. I used to just like make beats like that, like every single day.
I know. I lived with you.
For man, it was like year and a half.
Yeah.
And none of them saw the light of day, but I had such a blast doing it.
Less than 25% of mine ever see the light of day.
Yeah.
So I think that's just, if you're just making a lot of shit. I mean, for me, like, it's not so much to say like make a beat every day, like that's the way that you fucking succeed in life. But like, I just love this shit so much. I just I credit, the hard work that I've put in of practicing and stuff, but at the end of the day, like, it really is just my absolute favorite thing to do in the world. And the fact that, like, it gets to be my job is just
so
sick.
cool to hear, man.
It's just, I am grateful every day.
That's so cool. Is there any moment in your journey with music where you've just been, like, fed up with it? Burnt out?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I think, like, probably the most prominent example was at Berklee. Like before I had the whereabout and the confidence to be like, fuck this. Like when everybody else is buying into something around you, it's so easy to fall into that space. And I think that I sort of, I don't know if I ever was never picking up a guitar again, right? I was always gonna fuck with it to a certain extent, but I sort of just thought I'd be a bar musician my whole life. Like I grew up, instead of getting a job, me and my drummer, still to this day, Chris, who is from my hometown, we would play at local bars for the night to make enough money to get weed and eat. And I sort of, maybe around the time I was 18, I'd been playing 6 or 7 years of bar gigs, so I sort of was ready to concede to the fact that if this is my career, I'm not mad. I got enough to, like I said, to get weed and eat. Yeah. So I'm chilling. But
that's a great attitude, man.
Yeah. I mean, I never.
Unless you break your arm.
But here's the question. Here's the question, because it seems to change once you get to a certain point in your career. So I hope and imagine that your career will continue to move in a trajectory forward. However, things can always change.
Absolutely.
And, not to be dire, but if that were to drop out from under you, going back down to something less than what you have gotten to would be a lot more difficult. But would you still, anyways, just because you love it so much?
Yeah, I mean, if that were the case, and I really, couldn't make a living doing exactly what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I'd throw a hissy fit getting back on a stage at a bar if I'm just as long as I'm playing and just practicing and getting better.
Totally, man.
And those bar gigs, that's exactly what it was. It was basically just being in the shed for 6 years, before I actually got an opportunity to put out content that was truly mine. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all covers and shit.
It's awesome, man. I feel similar. I'm you can't really quantify or measure who's where and how and what in our separate careers, but I feel wherever I feel I want to get in my milestone markers of my own career, if I don't, I'll still just do plays in black box theaters out in New York or Spokane or anywhere, just
and that's just because you really fuck with that.
Really like it. Yeah, I just have it just brings me so much joy, and
absolutely,
that's a cool thing to hear.
It's cool to hear you say it too, man.
Yeah,
that's sweet.
Yeah,
you love to hear that. I mean, you only hope that from a place of passion. For other people, that's something I would wish to anybody that wants to work hard and is willing to work hard. I just hope that it's something that they really fuck with. You know?
Totally, man. I think sometimes even your experience can be diminished by reaching those milestones. And I actually had another question about milestones and what, for both of you guys, what do you look forward to having happen in your career that you feel that's the next thing? Because as an actor, I'm just always okay, as soon as I get this thing, then I'll it'll elevate to the next level. And as soon as I get that thing, that'll elevate me to the next level.
Yeah.
And that's never actually true. I get that thing and then I'm just Okay, well, here I'm still here and hanging and doing the thing.
Exactly where I thought it was.
And but do you guys have those for yourselves at this point, like milestone markers that you want to?
You can speak on it first, Al, if you want.
And because you were talking about labels,
besides making it to the top 12 of American Idol.
Yeah. Well, no, it came from
besides
when I was
having
listening to
Paula clap for me like this.
It came from hearing you guys talk about labels and like, is that important to you? I guess, and like, is that a milestone that you want to reach? Because is that something? Do you want to be as a musician in a label deal that's awesome, or does that even exist?
I don't think that. I think that there's. Yeah, I don't know. I think you navigate every situation, and you just have to understand what you're getting into.
Yeah.
Was it us that was talking about expectations? Were you and I talking about expectations? I was talking with somebody recently about expectations and
managing them.
Oh, I think it was another podcast I had done recently. Is that those expectations are seemingly what drive you towards getting burned out quicker. I think is for so long I was like very results driven, and like, okay, I'm gonna do this record, and I'm gonna sell this many copies, and then that's going to put me in this size of room, and then I'm gonna be this much more like important somehow. And sometimes that happens, and you get the thing that you're like, you get the result you're hoping for, but you don't feel the result the same way. Like, it doesn't feel like this revelatory, oh, I've made it, this is nirvana. It just, you just set your sights on something else and something different. And so for me, what I've been attempting to try and really focus on is the process and like learning to love the process again, which is really inspiring to see somebody like you, Matt, because you seem to just be
completely we're gonna love the process this week,
enthralled with the process. And so that's kind of the next phase of my creative existence, is like falling back in love with the process and not being so deeply connected to the results, because for the majority, I think pretty much ever since anybody started paying attention to me, it's all been the results. Now,
and that's like a valid way to think. Like,
it's not. It's not completely invalid. No, but I think like to tie your identity up into the results is wrong. I think that you can try to get good results. But essentially, I was identifying the value of my art based upon the results. And I don't think that's right. I think you should value you should value your art based upon the joy of the process of making it. And if you don't, then if the results don't end up the way that you want, then you're going to diminish the value of your art and then diminish the desire to make it. And absolutely. So I did that for many years, and now I've getting to a point where I've realized that I did that, and want to just fall back in love with like making art again, and hanging out with new friends, and making new music or new videos, or Julian said this beautiful thing to me recently when we were talking, because this whole process versus results thing has been on my mind pretty much all through this last year, and ever since I had Rudy. And
shout out to Rudy,
baby. What a ledge, dude. Joseph, it's funny you say that you're so results driven, because every time you talk about any story, like any depiction of things that you hold dear of the last like 10 years of your musical journey, it's all stories about the process. It's never like, oh, dude, back in 2012, I sold 100,000 copies of, and then I received a NAIAANCRRMP
if I had
award,
$1 for every time somebody tried to flex some
ARIA
shit
awards,
like that to me, and I go, cool. Nice, man.
Right? Yeah, like
pop off.
And and when people do that to me, I'm like, I'm so turned off. I'm like,
go
away.
No, I feel
you have to realize that for yourself more than you have to realize it for how you outwardly project that information.
Absolutely.
Like, Alan has never been the type to be like, hey, like I did this and these are my accolades. He's not one to show that stuff off. But that doesn't mean he's not thinking about it. Doesn't mean he's not on his mind at all the time.
Thinking about it.
Yeah, and it's interesting because it's like not ironic that it parallels with you kind of like becoming a professional musician.
Right.
You know, as soon as you became a professional musician, you were like, oh, now making music is my like professional task, and now it's a numbers game, whereas before it was a creative process driven intention. And your whole scope of it all changes because because it should. I mean, it doesn't have to, and I think it's normal for that to happen to any artist, and it's great and encouraging to hear you saying like you're trying to like get like put all that away and like get rid of that again. And I think like that's the most important thing to keep in mind as an artist for, I'm sure, a lot of young aspiring artists to like go through that phase of their own experience and then reel back and be like, okay, cool, now I have to throw away everything I've been taught or I've learned along the way, all these bad habits that I've gotten, and get back to the basics of what always made me the most happy. And,
absolutely.
And it's crazy how hard that is. You know?
And even on like, I mean, just to touch on what you were talking about in the beginning of that, you were, about just the idea of like flexing versus like just being confident in yourself. Like, I think there's something to be said about the fact that, we do live in a social media era where cats feel obligated to flex on each other all the time. And I think it's not to say that the fact that if you're somebody like Al or myself, that it's just like not constantly trying to flaunt our accolades or anything that's going on, but like it's not to say that I don't believe in myself. I think it's just like a way that you should carry yourself. Like I'm not better than anybody as a man, but in my mind I'm better than people as a musician. So I think that it's just a difference between,
But that's probably what wakes you up in the morning and gets you
absolutely
to make a beat.
And my answer to your original question would be, the motivation for me is that I know every day I wake up I'm better than yesterday. Yeah. And I'm just trying to, if I think too big picture, then it looks less clear to me. But I know that I make beats every day because I'm trying to wake up the next day and make a flyer beat. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder, it'll be interesting to have a conversation with you 10 years down the road, and I hope it's just 10 years farther ahead and with more progress from where you're currently at, because you got a great attitude about everything.
Thank you, man.
So do you, and it's awesome, man. It's awesome to hear you guys wanting to just like fulfill the artist's passionate project of what it is you're trying to accomplish with your stuff now, rather than like it's not as important anymore. Maybe the pandemic has kind of shown us that. Maybe
I think it has
just
a little
like,
bit.
I think for Alan especially, like I'm speaking for you, but like realizing how capable you are of doing so many other things without the help of labels and management.
I mean, 2021. You know me. I could speak on shit like that forever. I think we live in a time where everybody has the tools to do what I'm doing or to do what Al's doing. I think that it's just a matter of I don't want to say that it's all outworking other people and shit. I would suspect that some luck had to do with it. But at the same time, it doesn't mean that I didn't put in at least my 10,000 hours of practice, and that's the thing that defines my worth to myself.
But it's that little shift though of like practice versus passion, because practice to me always feels hard.
Well, if you call it that,
if you like approach it like practice, like I'm gonna go, I'm gonna show up, I'm gonna lace up, I'm gonna put my jock strap on, I'm gonna but like what you do is also practice.
Absolutely.
But you're framing it as passion.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the unspoken. You can't bottle that up. Like you can't teach that as a coach. You can't go
exactly.
You need to practice.
Right.
Like you need to be passionate. Like you just can't. You either have it or you don't. Also, I guess. You either have a combination or you don't.
The way that I would explain it to people, like I feel like if we're using a basketball analogy, like I feel like that a basketball player would probably get better playing a scrimmage than like doing a fucking cone drill or something.
Oh, right.
Like, there are certain things that drills help you focus on, and I think that there are certain warm-ups and exercises that we do as artists that like can focus on certain things. But the thing that makes me good at making beats is the making of the beats,
right?
You know? And I think that if you're good at hooping, you just have done a lot of hooping, you know?
Right.
And I've always thought of it like that.
Yeah, because with coming back to that basketball analogy, what I think the real power of scrimmage in that is the competitive nature.
Absolutely.
Like losing yourself
being in real in-game situations that like a cone drill is not providing you with.
Absolutely. And it's the same with music. I've got so many young kids who come like, I want to do music. How do I navigate this? And somebody told me that I should.
Question. You just gotta fucking do it.
Yeah, you just gotta.
You just gotta do it.
That's what
but
I
also,
tell everybody.
Yeah, totally. Getting out
on
though.
wax. Just do it.
Just do it on
stare
wax.
right in the fucking camera while I say, just do it. There's no other way. I mean, you can't tiptoe around that shit. You gotta jump off. If you're gonna do it, you gotta just fucking do it.
Yeah, which can be terrifying too, because I think a lot of kids are doing it.
Yeah.
And they don't sense like the results that they want. Right?
Yeah. Right.
Which is another like reroute towards being connected to the results. Is that you can feel, if you are connected to the results, you can feel like, well, I'm not getting anywhere. I'm not being any better. It's like
social media era.
Yeah,
type
man.
Beat.
It can be tough, but as Max said very wisely, just do it. Just do it, and you'll find.
To it, baby.
I think you'll find your groove and your way.
Oh yeah. Can I take one more pee break?
Yeah, I think we're about to wrap it up, baby boy. We've been on here about an hour.
Oh, fire.
So
fart.
Oh, fuck yeah. I'll still pee.
Tell folks where before we end this thing. Where?
Oh yeah, we'll wrap. I won't pee yet then. Maybe I'll just pee in my chair. Sorry,
Just
what was
pee
the
your pants,
question?
dude. It's all good.
Tell the folks where they can find you and
where they can find me at.
Yeah.
Shit. I hope you don't find me, but you can find my music. Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube.
Yep.
The various internet places. Mac Ayres. Ayres.
Yeah, it's actually tough. Ayres.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Not like Roy. Roy is ERS, but I am RES.
I booked your ticket and I misspelled your name.
Yes.
And
it was all G when I got there, though. You came through. You
I switched to that. Yeah, Glenda in Arizona for Alaska Airlines helped me out. Thank you, Glenda.
Thank you so much, Glenda. Appreciate you.
Mac, thank you so much for being here, bud. Thanks for making the trek.
Thank you so much.
And for folks at home, check him out. Mac Ayres on all accounts.
Round 2. See what happens at the end of this week.
The one that we're supposed to be comfier with each other.
Yeah.
I don't know how much comfier we can get, but
it's pretty cool, man.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see it.
It's pretty cool to feel as comfortable with a person that you've only known for 18 hours as I do with you. That's not always the case. I try to have those kinds of relationships with anybody that I meet. All of us do.
Oh, of course.
But it doesn't mean that it happens.
No.
Usually doesn't. So.
Yeah, more often than not. But
Yeah.
I appreciate you saying
You're an exception to the rule, man.
It's been great to fucking hang with you guys, get to know y'all.
Get the fuck out of here, dude. Go pee.
Yeah, I really have to
yourself.
pee. People,
Love you,
it was
Mac.
all good to see you.
Give it up for Mac Ayres, everybody. He's
Mac
going
Ayres.
to the bathroom.
See you next time, y'all.
Oh, boo-boo, did you just make it to the end of the video? Yes, you did. Do you want to see more videos just like this one? Do you?
Well, then head over to patreon.com/Live at the Lodge, where you can support the How Good's of this podcast, as well as the entire Live at the Lodge family.
Yep, yeah, you're going to get exclusive merch, personalized shout-out videos. Me and Jules, we're going to show up at your house and baptize your nephew, huh? Check it out, patreon.com/Live at the Lodge.